The canton of Basel-Landschaft, Basel-Country, informally Baselland, Baselbiet, hence Basel Land, in French Bâle-Campagne, is one of the 26 cantons of Switzerland. The capital is Liestal. It shares borders with the cantons of Basel-Stadt, Solothurn, Jura and Aargau, and with the French region of Alsace and the German state of Baden-Württemberg. History. Basel-Landschaft, together with Basel-Stadt, formed the historic Canton of Basel until they separated following the uprising of 1833. In Roman times, the area of Basel was a center of Roman activity. There are well-preserved remains at the site of Augusta Raurica in the Canton of Basel-Landschaft. Around AD 200 there were about 20,000 people living in the city, now part of the much smaller August. The remains are on display in an open-air museum. The museum attracts over 140,000 visitors per year. Many of these visitors are schoolchildren from other parts of Switzerland. The site of Augusta Raurica includes the best-preserved amphitheatre north of the Alps, and a reconstructed Roman villa. The lands of the Canton Basel-Landschaft are part of the lands acquired by the city of Basel. Until the end of the 16th century, most of the canton's land belonged to the city of Basel. After Napoleon's visit in 1798, the country achieved equality with the city. The country was economically dependent on the city, most probably because of the low level of education in the agricultural areas at the time. The city of Basel remained the cultural and economic center of both Basel half-cantons until then. Castles and residences of Basel merchants dominated much of the landscape in Basel-Landschaft. After 1830 there were political quarrels and armed conflict in the canton of Basel. Some of these were concerned with the rights of the population in the agricultural areas. They ultimately led to the separation of the canton Basel-Landschaft from the city of Basel on the 26th of August 1833. Since then, there has been a movement for a unification. This movement gained momentum after 1900 when many parts of Basel-Landschaft became industrialized. The two half-cantons agreed in principle to merge, but in 1969 the people of Basel-Landschaft voted down a referendum on this proposal in favor of retaining their independence. It is thought that the closing economic gap between the two cantons was the main reason why the population changed their attitude. The vote was not the end of a close relationship between the two Basels. The two half-cantons have since signed a number of agreements to cooperate. The contribution of Basel-Landschaft to the University of Basel since 1976 is just one example. Geography. The canton of Basel-Landschaft lies in the north of Switzerland. The Jura mountain chain traverses the canton. The rivers Aargau and Biers drain the lands of the canton. The 30 rivers of Baselland are. Politics. Since the decision to remain independent from Basel-Stadt in 1969, there have been a number of requests in the parliament for Basel-Landschaft to become a full canton. In 1988 the canton of Basel-Landschaft had this aim written into its constitution. The aim remains to change the Swiss constitution to recognize the two cantons of Basel as full members. Federal election results FDP before 2009 FDP. B** indicates that the party was not on the ballot in this canton. C part of the GPS political subdivisions. The 9 municipalities of the Alzheim district used to belong to the Diocese of Basel. In 1792 French troops occupied the district and in 1793 the lands were annexed by France, which explains the linguistic switch of the family of the House of Basel's name from von Basel to de Basel, since Alzheim holds the manor. In 1815 at the Congress of Vienna the district joined Basel. The district of Laufentel has the same history as that of Alzheim. The important difference is that in 1815 Laufentel joined Bern rather than Basel. When the canton of Jura was created in 1979, the district of Laufentel became an enclave of the canton of Bern. It was allowed self-determination, and in 1980 the people decided to join the canton of Basel-Landschaft. This led to Laufentel joining the canton of Basel-Landschaft on 1 January 1994 after a lengthy administrative process. Districts: there are 5 areas in Basel-Landschaft: Alzheim capital, Alzheim; Laufen capital, Laufen; Liestal capital, Liestal; Sissach capital, Sissach; Waldenberg capital, Waldenberg. Municipalities: there are 86 municipalities in the canton. Demographics: the population is predominantly German-speaking. Protestantism is the main religion in the canton, while about 1/3 of the population is Roman Catholic. The Swiss Reformed Church and Christian Catholic Church of Switzerland are recognized as state churches. Between 1959 and 1970, the canton was Switzerland's fastest growing, as the population almost doubled from 108,000 to 205,000. Today, the canton has a population of 285,094. As of 2007, the population included 48,719 foreigners who made up 18.1% of the population. Economy: agriculture in the canton includes fruit growing, dairy farming and cattle breeding. Important industries include textiles, metals and chemicals. The canton of Basel-Landschaft is part of the economic region around Basel that includes parts of France and Germany, as well as both half cantons of Basel. Since the 1960s, there are agreements in force to strengthen contacts within the so-called Regio Basiliensis. This economic cooperation is often considered as the most intensive in Europe. For the 17th century until the beginning of the 20th century, silk weaving was important in Basel-Landschaft. Factories were established as early as 1850, following the finding of salt in underground deposits, founding industries such as the chemical industry in Schweizerhalle. The chemical industry means that Basel is one of the richer parts of Switzerland. The chemical industry is not the sole employer in the canton. Small and middle-sized businesses make up about 1/4 of the cantonal economy. Many of these, however, are connected to the larger employers.